Marcus asks, do you think there can be any sort of reconciliation between the Bernie Dems and the establishment if the establishment keeps taking corporate money? Also, should members of Congress be allowed to grow beards? I mean, Lincoln had a beard and he was pretty awesome. Marcus, to the last part of your question, of course, obviously, they should be able to grow beards. First of all, I have to admit, and this is slightly embarrassing, I guess, I didn't know that they weren't allowed to grow beards. But then when you think about it, I guess there aren't many people who have it. Well, I don't know. Keith Ellison has like a goatee. Paul Ryan had, what are you talking about? Are you sure they're not allowed to grow beards? Paul Ryan had a beast beard for No Shave November, recently. So I don't know if that's true, man. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know, but some have had it. But yeah, of course they should be allowed if they're not allowed. And then do I think there could be reconciliation between the establishment Dems and the Bernie wing? No. No. They're going to step the fuck aside. And we're going to make them. You think I'm kidding? No, I'm serious. And there's a big announcement coming soon that I have to bite my tongue on, but their day is done. They're the problem. They're why who do you blame for Donald Trump? You blame them for Donald Trump. There are a lot of people who voted for Obama who ended up voting for Donald Trump because Hillary Clinton was such a representative of the establishment wing, the corporate wing of the Democratic Party, that they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. I got to vote for Trump. At least he sounds anti-establishment. At least he says some stuff on TPP and trade that seems more reasonable. I got to do it. I can't vote for Hillary. So the Democratic Firewall fell. She won the popular vote by 2.8 million votes or so. But they knew the states they had to pick off, and they didn't pick them off. She didn't step foot in some of the states she should have went to because she just assumed it's part of the Democratic Firewall. We're going to win there. Well, that wasn't true because former Obama voters either stayed home or voted for Donald Trump in many of these depressed factory towns because you represent the establishment. So this is the core of the problem, is the establishment Democrats. And now the same people who threw a bucket of shit on your head are the same people who are trying to sell you the relief from the flies. No, you're the problem. If somebody robbed your house and then they come over the next day and they say, shit, man, you got robbed. We gotta fix this. Let me help you out. You robbed me. What are you talking about? You're the fucking problem. You're the problem. So no, there will be no reconciliation. Now, we have to be clear, though. The time for primaries and the time for elections, it's the primaries and it's the elections. So you know what that means? It means that if you have an establishment Democrat who happens to be right on an issue, like, for example, almost all of the establishment Democrats are still saying, hey, Donald Trump, please don't repeal Obamacare. That is a terrible idea. 20 to 30 million people will lose their health insurance. So on that specific issue, they are right. We shouldn't. Now, they would be wrong if you say, hey, should we go to single payer? They'd go, well, I don't know about that. So on that, they're wrong, and we'll fight them on that issue because we need single payer, and they'll stand in the way, and then they become our enemy on that issue. But on the battlefront of fighting to save Obamacare and keep Obamacare, which we need to do, they're going to be our ally. So we need to be rational and we need to be reasonable about this. Don't just oppose anybody in a knee-jerk reactionary way. You have to think it through every step of the way. So if they're an ally on that issue, then we fight alongside them. I don't give a fuck if John McCain suddenly sees the light on Obamacare and says, you know what, we shouldn't repeal it. Great, come share a stage with me and we will fight on this specific issue. On other issues, I'm going to fight you. When it comes to war and how you want to start 93 of them, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you and you're going to lose. But on an issue where we agree, yes, we need to unify and come together and fight them. So that's what that means. No, there will be no reconciliation between establishment Democrats and the Bernie wing. The Bernie wing will win and we're going to kick them out of office. But in the meantime, while we don't have an election happening, if they happen to be right on an issue, we fight side by side with them for the correct positions. So that's my breakdown on that.